was a bit freaky. Car almost didn't start. It seemed like I was drawing too much power off of all this stuff, and I guess the battery isn't charging very well. Which is, that's no good. I mean, if I need to get a battery replaced out here, not a huge deal, but I just don't want to get stuck in the middle of nowhere tonight. And I was almost stuck at that motorway stop right there. Car would not turn over, engine would not turn over. And then it did. When I unplugged everything that I was charging off of the car battery. And so it seems like, which it doesn't make any sense that, you know, my little, like, I've got, oh, well, I am drawing 5 amps. I'm drawing 5 amps, I just realized. It's too much. So yeah, car almost didn't start. Whoever's here, yeah, I got that, Bridget. I see you. Is it Osa? Who knows? Say hello if you'd like to say hello. I just did my last gas up in Ohio. And if you haven't been here before, I am going to Chicago to stomp all over little Davey and his fake Space Navy's opening of a new building. No, yes, but it was okay. So yeah, it just kind of worked out. Yeah, I almost got stuck at the side of the road. So it seemed like I just didn't calculate. I was using like a multi-charger to charge a bunch of devices and charging an iPad. Oh, you did? Yeah. Oh, hello. I've been driving on. I pulled away during the end of Natalie's live stream. Let's see. I actually just moved here from moved where? To Chicago? You just moved to the Windy City there? Stephanie Slaughters. Sounds such like, well, it's alliterative and severe name. It's good to see you here. Yeah, I'm driving from Massachusetts today. Yes, Chicago, cool. I'm driving from Massachusetts today to Chicago and to go stomp all over little Davey's big party that he's planning. And try to show our disdain for everything that they do and everything that they support, and maybe not as much of who they are, but some of them who they are. Who they're acting like, at least. So, you know, Pearl Snappy's telling us about all this new regalia. You know, they're wearing their crosses on the outside now. They're like, yeah, we're not afraid to be Scientologists now. We've got our new building. And so we'll see if we've got any of that in Chicago. Used to live in Northampton. Great town. I love Northampton. Did you go to school there? And I used to live further out in between there and Pittsfield. In a town of 700 people, I think, was the population, called Windsor. It's like right before Dalton. And it's like Windsor, Dalton, Pittsfield, if you're going west. But yeah. my sister went to Smith, and a bunch of friends went to school in Northampton. Real cool town. Lots of artists. I mean, if you have Sonic Youth and Dino Jr. hanging out nearby, you're in the cool place. It's right. Whoa. Oh, right. Funsies. Well, there's plenty of fun to be had there. Absolutely. Man, I just read an article that the Iron Horse is having trouble with their liquor license because of the previous owner has a tax lien on something. Yes. Sonic Youth. One of my favorites. I was in a band that was trying to emulate them at one point. In some ways. Yes. I saw Sonic Youth at Lupo's in Rhode Island in the year 2000 on the Washing Machine tour, and Stereolab opened. If you know what Lupo's is, it is very, very cozy. It's a cozy ass place. And it was one of the more beautiful rock and roll nights that I've ever had, and I've had a lot of them. Pipeline that night. Pipeline. Oh, of course. Yeah, no, they're all over the place, right? So, it's like seeing John Waters in Provincetown. It's gonna happen after a time, because they're staples. Yeah, totally. Cool place. I liked being out there. Some real artists, and a real community of hippies that had found a nice comfortable area to be chilling. Woo. Yeah. Thurston Moore. Yeah, stretch me out to the point where I stop. Run 10,000 miles and then think of me. I think you know the place where we should meet. Don't worry if it's dark and I'm late. Hold me on a thin wire. Help me to kill this love. I'm digging a pipeline straight to the heart of you. Opening in my head. I love Pipeline. Oh yeah, I mean... Yeah, and especially then, it was, Northampton hasn't become too built up or hippified or anything, but, that was a cool time to be there for sure. For sure. I was visiting out there. It was a good time. Oh, yeah. And, I had, I grew up in the Boston area, but I had family out in the Amherst area. So I was out there all the time. When I was 13, I went to the Amherst basketball camp for the summer. I was in there the whole summer. I slept in the chapel of the Quaker meeting house that's right outside of Amherst. Lived at the Quaker meeting house. The Friends. Oh, right on. Yeah, exactly. Pretty good digs. Smith, yeah, absolutely. My sister went to visit her, and yeah. It's, especially if, you're young and you're hungry, that's pretty great. Good dorms. Beautiful buildings, beautiful campus. trying to remember if that was the year my sister graduated. I think it was undergrad. Oh no, it was the next year, right? Okay, but yeah, Gloria Steinem was the commencement speaker. Imagine. Yeah, it's like Quincy Jones doing the Berkeley graduation, or David Bowie, which he did one time. Yeah, right on. Yeah, totally. Yeah, Pearl Street, super cool. Like, what's your favorite band that you saw at Pearl Street? Well, I'm losing my voice. Yeah. Oh my, yes, right? Okay, so we're definitely on the same page. Yeah, Mark Sandman, whoa. When that band was hitting in 90s, I mean, I was all over. I was basically living in Cambridge at friend's house and like on the streets of Harvard Square, and my band at the time, they were made up of Yeah. Oh, wow. Buy yourself at 18 at a Morphine show in 95. Solid. So, we're about the same age. Yeah. Like, the way they lit up the Cambridge music scene and, like, you know, a Morphine show downstairs in the Middle East was, ooh, you know, it's really, you know, some hometown favorites, like, and especially when they were coming up, and then when they broke medium, you know, they had a hit. Yeah, dude, totally. Tragic. The first time I saw Morphine was at an in-store at the Harvard Square Newbury Comics. So, like, right next to him. Oh, hell yeah. So, I mean, that makes sense. They seem like cool people, like not, I mean, there are a lot of jerks in the Boston music scene that just huge egos and totally undeserved, and a lot of violent people. Oh yeah, way. Harvard Square Newbury Comics in-store. Before people really knew what the hell was going on. I was a pit rat, you know, and it was like the best thing to do that day. If you know the pit, or like heard tell of the legends of Harvard Square Pit, that used to be like a crazy meetup place on the weekends. But my bandmates over in Harvard Square at the time, they were the body piercers in Harvard Square. They were the people that did body piercing in Harvard Square, and we were the most tatted up and pierced band. You know, I've lost them all. I don't have any of them in. My 0 gauge septum ring hole never freaking closed, and I can still put a chopstick pretty much through it. I can put a straw, like a drinking straw, through it. You know, it freaks out people at parties. So I look kind of normal. But they were the cool ones. Like, you know, another big band that came up, well, it was the Miggity Miggity Bostones. And I mean, they got way bigger and stayed around longer. They had a couple more hits than Morphine. And I mean, Dickie Barrett's one of the worst. one of the worst people in the Boston music scene ever. He's just a violent thug. Beat up one of my friends. And he thought he owned that town. Yeah, the Miggity Miggity Bostones. The Mighty Mighty Bostones. But, you know, yeah, us people that were trying to run him down, we all Miggity 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 Bostones. I mean, Devil's Night Out, I liked that record, but nothing else. That was, you know, and I'm kind of like that with those kinds of bands. I like their freshman attempt, and when they get their money, they usually don't make as good music. Yeah, I mean, maybe better you didn't, because, I mean, 90s Boston music scene, what they attracted violence. They attracted violent people. They attracted, like, thuggy skinhead gangs. They attracted the most violent side of the hardcore music scene. And, yeah, people just, you know, you got your teeth knocked out at a Mighty Mighty Bostones concert or your leg broken. And, I mean, mosh pits were mosh pits, for real. And, you know, you had to fight for your survival in those things. But, I mean, any of the hardcore bands, Sam Black Church, Tree, Mighty Mighty Bostones, like, any of those big hardcore bands, if you went to their shows, like, you were going to see somebody get seriously hurt. Jaya the Cat, of course. Jaya the Cat. Oh, wow. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, totally. Yeah. You know, and as you say, just like under the radar for a lot of people, Jaya the Cat. And I don't know if they made it really out of the region. I don't think they did. But maybe they did. You know, maybe like the Boston version of the Georgia band Alice Donut or something. You know, if you know Alice Donut, they're pretty wonderful. Yeah, oh wow. Alice Donut. Yeah, I mean, there's so much creativity in indie rock at the time. It was a golden age for independent cinema and for independent music, independent radio. And then the 1998 decision by the FCC to deregulate the ownership structure of radio markets meant that any one corporation could gobble up a huge amount of the radio market and control everything. They went to Amsterdam? That's a great idea. No, seriously, a band like that would be appreciated in Europe. I played Europe a bunch. Well, a good amount. I mean, the audiences for this kind of stuff are just better. They're just better. They just appreciate weirdness more. And they celebrate music more. They'll actually pay you. They'll promote you. America, you know, I think I started swearing and yelling the last time I got into this concept, where the complacency, but I'm feeling better right now, of you can go anywhere else in the world and just have an easier time entertaining people, and we've got all these choices, and all these corporations are trying to tell us that, you know, wait, but the next best thing, and it's all novelty, and, you know, I think this tractor trailer in front. The closest I played to Amsterdam, the band that I was in would have 2 Holland gigs, and one is in a town that's like kind of, it was a suburb technically. It's Harlem with 2 A's, the original Harlem. Yeah, no, it's awful. Well, I mean, Well, you don't really have record labels anymore. They're not. Record labels used to be independent corporate entities that operated and existed to make and promote music. And now they're just like one little tiny piece of like a much larger media conglomerate. And that is a tiny piece of a much, much larger holding company that's diversified like through, anything, cleaning products and, business services, who knows? Well, no, you can figure out the corporate tax structure. I'm just saying it's various and sundry. It's the whole damn cornucopia. So, and any media bit that they try to bring in is it's meant to enhance the rest of their investment portfolio in a process that, I'm guessing you're aware of, called vertical integration. Vertical integration as like a business term, I think this enjoys like about a generation of time being in existence and operation. And it's a stupid euphemism for, consolidating more and more power and more of our society under one banner. So I used to build a lot of scenery, theater artist for a long time. And I used to do some corporate scenic builds, which was money. It was kind of the least reputable thing that I did artistically ever, but it's not. It's really more construction, but it still has, it's part of the scenic arts. So I was on the dark side for a second. I bet you know Jordan's Furniture. I built the scenery for the native Jordan's Furniture, which was a 250-foot-long enclosed New Orleans street scene. The corporate, the headquarters store for LL Bean in Littleton, Maine, that has like a 30-foot waterfall that we installed through like this atrium structure. And one gig that I did was a Christmas party for an organization called the Mast Corporation. Now, I didn't know what they did. And in fact, I wasn't even meant to be on this gig. I had just done an install of an opera set. And those install weeks, I was working for the Boston Lyric Opera for a couple seasons, doing their installs. And I did some runs of shows too, not all of them, but most of them. And that would be a 100-hour work week. And I was at the end of that. It was like 6 17-hour days in a row. And I bought a pair of... Oh, yeah. Exactly. Right. Oh, I mean, real 90s stuff there. I mean, I was always jealous of the blue Doc Martens. I thought, that they were particularly cool. And especially if you were daring enough to mar them and adorn them with like paint markers and stuff. I also like that. But like that kind of blue, I don't know if it was the light or the more cobalt blue. The cobalt blue really struck my fancy. I did this 100-hour work week building scenery, and then this friend of mine, who was a project manager over at this corporate scenic company, was like, my install crew flaked out on me. Oh, he didn't tell me that first. He's like, the load-in crew, because it was like this warehouse was like a city block, like a New York city block, that had 30-foot industrial shelves throughout the entire city block that were all filled with scenery, right? So it was the biggest scenic house in New England, easily. He calls me up, and says, the people that were meant to load the truck didn't show up, and I've got to do this gig. And I'm like, I just worked 100 hours, I can't. And he begged me, and I did it. I didn't know any better. I was 19. And I showed up and I loaded the truck. And then he's like, okay, the install crew also didn't show up. Can you do that? And, So we go to build like a Christmas village and a Santa's village for 2 days up at the Mast Corporation. Didn't know what they were. And come to find out, now, we were, mall culture was kind of big for our generation, right? Kind of big. And so I remember so many conversations between teenagers, and this was never me. Oh no. But saying, oh, I like Structure. I like but the Limited's better. But no, I like the Gap and Banana Republic though. And right. So all of this. And we get in there, and it's this big corporate building. It's this like brick atrium, and then like this kind of this winding stair that goes up to each level, and each level of offices is split in half, and it's 3 or 4 of them, and on each floor is one half is one of those brands, and the other half is the other, and it's all of them. Structure, Banana Republic, The Limited, The Gap, Victoria's Secret. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, so the illusion of choice is like really, really thin. And this was in the 90s, but so like that they've been bought and sold probably, half a dozen times since then. The consolidation of corporate power, it's pretty frightening. And to me, it's produced where we have the internet, and we should be, we really should have more information and be kind of more different than we are, but yeah, right. I mean, there were actual differences. I mean, I wore some of that stuff. I mean, for me, I didn't enter into these conversations, but I was pretty sure that the Gap black t-shirt was the black t-shirt. Go figure, right? They do. Well, they do. Well, I mean, the whole world was open for that generation like an oyster. In a way that history is not repeated. They got apex, top of the line, education for the money, return on their investment for everything, access to property ownership, the fastest rising through like corporate or business structure to management. Besides maybe like military vets from World War II, they were advanced rather quickly culturally, but that continued. And on all of the ladder behind them, and there's nothing left. Oh my God! Oh wow! Oh wow! Wow, good one. That is true. That's what I believe. They pulled up that ladder. Or I mean, most people. It's amazing that most people that I talk to of that generation will not admit any of it. Yeah, personal jinx, no backsies, right, yeah. They won't admit a single piece of it. And when I try to have like a population level kind of discussion about these population level trends, they take it personally, almost to a 1. besides like the ones that I knew that were always super lefty revolutionaries and saw it happening the whole time. And we're like, we're screwing our kids. Why are we screwing our kids? We were supposed to bring like better stuff to the world. We're supposed to do better. Every political event in your town. The true believers that stayed on the field. And there's like 2 of them. You know. And I said earlier in this live stream, maybe like 10 hours ago now, that oh, I just totally lost it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's like 2 of them that, you know, these same people show up and kind of, I got to know that in a certain community. I became kind of the lead tech and audio engineer for Roxbury Community College's theater. And it was where all of the politicians in Boston came to apologize to the black community in Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan again for the 1000th time and promise a whole lot of stuff that they were never going to deliver on again for the 1000th time. And I mean, I knew some of the people that showed up, like I knew the people from Food Not Bombs that showed up to those things, and I know some of the environmentalists because I volunteered for the PIRGs, the mass PIRG for, and specifically for the, I saw you live streaming while I was driving through Nebraska earlier today. Mark Wahlberg? That's hilarious. Mark Wahlberg, the Wahlbergs, yeah. Dude. So, Mark Wahlberg and Donnie Wahlberg. So, here's a funny story as an aside. You know, my, let's see. Who was it? Oh, right. It was a relative. Dorchester. Yeah, Dorchester. So, you know, it's Roxbury Community College, but basically, you know, it was, well, the Strand was the other place where they'd go to do this, but generally they do it at the state-funded place where they had the control, and they're like, hey, we control your budget, and we can come in here and we can do what we kind of want and push our weight around. And so that's why they did it at Roxbury Community College. The Strand isn't so lucky, although they've got a bunch of state grant money and a bunch of federal grant money. I think they have an NEA grant. Yeah. But just as a funny aside, I think, you know, one of Joey McIntyre's siblings was working for my father, and when I was 12 years old, is super into rock and roll. He comes to me one day and he goes, I know the answer is probably no, but do you want to go to a New Kids on the Block concert? And I say, absolutely not. And he's like, I thought so, but you could go if you want. What? Can you request me to go live? I don't know how. All right. So, and I just learned this too. I just learned all this last week. Okay, so it took my son to right. What? Yeah, that reunion tour. There's a big article in the Globe that looked funny. Wow. The dance moves. But yeah, it's not a request. So and for me to go live through YouTube directly, I wasn't even able to do that. So Google and YouTube, there's stipulation that to go live on mobile, you need 50 subscriptions, and there's a minimum they review before even, and as I dug into the comments with people who actually had this happen, they said that it can take up to 2 or 3 weeks, right? for you to be able to do it just through YouTube. And so I had to use a third-party streaming app, Encoder, to be able to get around it. And there's a way to get around it. And the one that I use to be able to do it is called Prism. And so what I would do is, there's a bunch of tutorials on YouTube. Okay, so how do I go, how many subscribers do I need to go live? And there'll be a bunch of creators that have videos that do step-by-step tutorials on how to go live through just YouTube. And then if you want to go live even sooner, and you won't need 50 subs to do it, you like Prism, I would recommend, because that's the one that worked for me, and that's how I'm doing this right now. I'm sure there's still a watermark of this company on my live stream, since I'm not paying for the paid side of it. But it's a pretty full-featured, nice thing, and it's really easy, relatively easy, I guess. But it'll probably take you about a day to figure out everything about it. But after that, I mean, it's just going to take some time with the tutorial. But I mean, if you show up to one of these protests, just about everybody there is using one of these third-party streaming apps to get their stream into YouTube. And so Prism is one, Streamlabs is another, and that should work for you. But there's a little bit of a learning curve. It's going to take you the better part of an afternoon, or at least it did for me, to get through all of the up and running. So, well, I went piece at a time. I'm like, okay, so how do I do it for my desktop? And I figured that out. I figured out how to get a good quality stream so that I could stream out of my little studio in my postage stamp house in the forest that I rent in Plymouth. And so the first day the audio sucked. Second day, second live stream from my studio, the video sucked, and the audio was great. Third day, and both of those first times I was just going through YouTube. Third time, I used Streamlabs Desktop as an encoder, as what they call a software encoder. So it's an extra layer of software that, it's going to take up some amount of RAM on your computer, but if you have enough resources on your computer, it'll just do it. And it'll maintain the health of your stream and push that, like a healthy stream for YouTube to pick up. Let's see, what? I went to LA last Friday night, and I couldn't go live stream, but I recorded outside La Poubelle. Stephanie, are you from LA? Do you live in California? Yeah, you said that before. You're driving from California. You're not the beat maker by any chance. If you're going live from your phone, yeah, the YouTube app is handy, just to go back and forth, to be able to, this is what YouTube is seeing, this is what, if you don't have a second device, right, this is what YouTube is seeing of the stream, so you can be like, oh, I'm up and it's healthy and it's great. And I mean, people will respond back to you about the health of your stream. But it's handy to just have the YouTube app on there too. But yeah, I guess all that you technically need, but you need another device, because the way to sign Prism or any of these third-party streaming apps into YouTube, you need credentials that are specific within YouTube. And the thing is that is easier. Okay, cool. So that's not the person I'm thinking of that I saw. Because there are a couple people that showed up at La Poubelle, and I'm just trying to work out, that were just starting out, that were didn't have enough subs, and were asking around, like asking DOA and asking different people how to do it. And I mean, I think it's DOA that I mean, it's his recommendation that I got onto to Prism. Cool. So I'm just trying to work out, because there's a bunch more people showing up, so, and that are just starting out, and it's completely necessary, absolutely. And recording, I mean, ugh. Oh yeah, because it's like all these steps, right? Yeah. But it's not the best. It is a few steps, but it's totally doable. It's totally doable. But what I would say is that I talk literally, Michael, for, okay, so I'll be able to check that. I mean, look, I really want to talk to literally Michael. He's a designer. I worked in theater, like building scenery. Like we have a lot of, I think we have a lot to talk about. I studied scenic design. I've built models of my sets. I've had my sets built. Yeah. Super. So I'll be able to identify from Michael's stream. Oh, I want to meet Michael. I want to pick his brain. He's such a lovely individual. And he reminds me of the people that I really got on with when I lived in Provincetown, of that generation who just, I mean, it's a generation that went through the fucking wars, and the ones that are still kind and not like totally blown away by drugs and other kinds of self-destruction because of all the trauma they incurred. A lot of them just got blown apart psychologically. Are some of the kindest, most generous, inspirational people that I met. And yeah, I know. I would love to spend the afternoon, like, you know, sipping tea or coffee with him and just shooting the shit about aesthetic choices and what they mean and what kind of impact they can have and what that work is, and achieving turns of dramatic phrase visually by presenting different visual information piece at a time, and not with not with moving images, but by like set pieces. Oh, I would love, oh my God. I'm not worthy. I mean, you know, I would, maybe I'm not worthy, but yeah, I guess I'm fanboying out on literally Michael. Yeah. That's very kind. I think his email's on his YouTube page. He's accessible. And yeah, him and Serge, like, I mean, Serge is a big reason why I'm out here. A very big reason why I'm out here is, I mean, I'm not a case as anywhere near as bad as Serge, but I had a rough experiences as a child that there's no getting over it. And what he talks about, like incurring that kind of damage in your single digits can cripple you, and people don't know that you're like it is as if you're psychologically in a wheelchair, and people would like you to be normal, and they'd like you to have normal reactions to things, and it's neurologically next to impossible for some people to have them, and they have to work their whole lives to be able to just process what's going on and what's happened to them. And for identifying that and holding space for people like that, and the way that Serge tells his story and the way that he fights, because he hits the top note of anger, and I've said this before on previous live streams today, he hits that top note in such a controlled way. It's like a really good rock singer, or opera soprano, just ear-shattering sound, devastating sound at the back of the room. You feel it in your chest, and total control for dramatic effect. Yes. 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 Well, I don't know about his story, but he seems like he's done some real work to get to the point where he's cleared off that circuit. And there's very little resistance between the organized anger, righteous rage that he has and the expression of it. And that takes practice. Well, and some people have like a lot more reason to be able to be good at it, and I think Serge is one of these people who has a lot more reason to be really, really good at that. And, whoa, yes, I wish. Yeah, right? Oh, man. There's a lot of wishes that I have like that. One of them is like, I wish that I had known about this earlier. I wish that I had jumped in sooner, because, I don't know, I was just living my life. I was just going about my business. And, I was really just like living through a bunch of my injury and kind of shutting down my life in a way. And it's bizarre that because there's so many causes, there's so many people that are hurting out there in the world, and there's so much that's in this fight against Scientology that resonates with me. It's the thought, the mind control, the abuse of the young and the adult and the elderly. It's which is abhorrent front to back. And there's so much in there. And not only that, what I realized after a time is that thing, like thinking that there are bigger fish to fry, was keeping me from like going after what is an easier target than other predatory cults that exist right now that have a lot more money and that have a lot more power than Scientology. And I'm talking, to me, they're the more established religions. Slightly more, I count Jehovah's Witnesses amongst those that needs to be turned inside out for the damage that they do to families. It's, the disconnection thing, same thing. Like, if you become an enemy of the church, if you do one thing, like, you smoke a cigarette, you date the wrong person one time, you'll be disconnected from your entire family. Yes, that's true. A lot of us are. That's part of, I resonate with Pearl Snappy, another never-in, who is processing a lot of trauma. And yes, absolutely. I was in survival mode. And that's what happens. Like, You got to take care of yourself for a time. But for me, it was too long, and I was just too scared to engage in any way, to engage with anybody for any reason. And I was just closing myself off from the world and building that wall and living out the second half of Pink Floyd's The Wall. Living it out. And absolutely. And also in this time, there's so much that's going wrong, and a lot of the things seem so big. You know, like the current conflict, orange circus peanut going to be president again. And I mean, all circus peanuts. Well, there are some yellow ones that I guess they make some different colors, but might as well. He's more orange than a circus peanut. Taking over and losing the last vestiges of this Democratic Republic, and we're, in my mind, we're this close from an authoritarian dictatorship. It would just take a security state event to scare everybody to, all beg for some, big strongman daddy to save us all. Just one push at this point. It's looking a lot like Germany in the 30s. Which it was a thriving democracy. I mean, thriving, it was a democracy, troubled certainly by being a failed empire and, losing a world war, and massive economic downturn. Yes, that's right. All circus peanuts matter. Yeah, that was a really bad joke. Sorry. But, people forget. Germany was a democracy. Hitler was elected into office. And, Germany in the 20s and 30s artistically, yeah, exactly. Either one. By direct action or by enfeeblement. But there is a lesser of these two evils, but it's the most evil choice that we've had to make in quite some time. The most evil. And so, a lot of people are going to spit the bit, and they're not going to take the reins. It's going to be a fucking disaster. There's, as far as what it's shaping, what it's looking like right now, it looks very, very bad. I haven't seen a season like this at all before. But yeah, that's right. But like German culture, it had like the most progressive out there, like, music and theater and, visual arts, the Bauhaus and, Bertolt Brecht and all these people that had to flee. It was like the height of like weirdo artsy culture that was breaking all the molds, and then the Nazis came in. So people say it can't happen here. And I would recommend that book by the same name, written by Sinclair Lewis. Sinclair Lewis, almost the best satirist of American life. Well, he took up it was Samuel Clemens, and then it was Sinclair Lewis, as far as I'm concerned. And then it was Kurt Vonnegut. Oh no, yeah, this is so much worse than Bush Kerry. So much worse. So much worse. Paying the tolls, which one, that one? That's a ticket and an easy pass. Those are not my farts. That is the road. Good evening.
Hello.
How are you doing? I'm hanging in there, trying to get on the other side of Chicago.
$13.75.
cash, please.
Well, it's going to take you about 2 hours to get to Indiana.
That's right. Yeah, and I'm all gassed up. I never stop in Indiana. I never stop in Indiana.
Really? Well, good for you. That's good.
Yeah, I buy my gas in Ohio. It's better prices, better laws, better judges.
I know.
I don't want to give them 1 cent of my tax money.
This is 305.
Yeah.
Angola, Indiana, which is 12 miles down the road, is 342 a gallon.
Yep, right, exactly.
Well, I live in Indiana, so I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, just, I mean, I'm kind of a liberally guy. I better move on, but thank you very much, you too. Yeah. Oh man, I just bagged on that lady's state, but she agreed with me. Oh man. Well, don't try to be homosexual and don't try to get an abortion and don't try to be not Christian and get a job in Indiana, I'll tell you. Yeah, $13. Well, so you pick up a ticket around Cleveland, and then it's the entire Ohio freeway that you get for $13. Who knows what? It's all electronic for New York, so I'm gonna have to go online and pay that because I don't have any kind of Easy Pass on here. It's probably more like $24. It's probably double $13 to get through New York. So never stop in Nebraska. Well, I've got a story about that. Definitely stopped in Nebraska. Was forced to out of fatigue. We were on the road driving. I think from Chicago. Our next gig was Lake Tahoe, and so we were forced, and it was just we were delirious with exhaustion, and it was the worst Motel 6 I've ever seen. Like an infinity of cigarette burns around the perimeter of the bed of one of the rooms that we were in, and it's just. But that's not even close to the worst. This motel was across the street from an industrial feedlot of it had to be 10,000 head of cattle. And I mean, the smell was very, very bad. But what was even worse than that, and why I got absolutely no sleep that night, is the mooing, the tortured moos of, cattle that were at the end of their feeding process, where they're given all these hormones and they're so fat on the hoof, and they're going to die of 1 million cancers because of all this growth hormone that they're giving you if they let them live very far past slaughter. That they're in pain, and you lived in Tahoe. Wow. Yeah. That's a crazy place. California or Nevada side? Yeah, they stink real bad. Oh, there's disabled vehicle up there. Yeah. I mean, the casinos around, I guess it doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, the laws are different on different sides of that town. It's really weird how that town is split. I think that's the only gig that I ever did in a casino. I didn't like it. I mean, the crowd was drunk as hell. They had a great time. They were ripped. Oh, both. All right, cool. Right, so both sides. Yeah. Right on. But so I forget the name of the casino. It was, I think, the big one on the Nevada side. We unpack our stuff, and they've got like little hotel rooms that are beneath the stage that they house the band in. It's like in the back of the building, you do the bus park up, and you basically walk off the bus, and everybody on the bus has a hotel room. Really, oh no, weird town as hell. What I found to be really weird on picking up an Indiana ticket. Okay. Well, not weird at all. It's actually totally normal. Especially that area that it took me 5 minutes. It took me 5 minutes to clock the house meth dealer. 5 minutes. I was on that floor. And I was like, oh, it's that dude. Look at that dude, and look at that grandma posting up so that she
button for ticket.
So that she has
Processing.
her fuel.
Please. Thank you.
Her one-armed bandit fuel to be able to stay there. Like the mother in Requiem for a Dream or some shit. Yeah, man. If you know what you're looking for, this stuff is everywhere, and it's easy to see. And I think these people are lucky I'm not a cop, because I know exactly what it is. And all you have to do is sit there and watch. But which one of these kids is not like the other? And he was being stupid obvious. He was dressed semi-raver. He had a tracksuit. He had a hat with a brim. And it was mainly like retirees and some younger people in this casino. And he was posted up in the slot area. He wasn't over at the tables. Dude, I forget. I'll look it up at some point. I'll be able to tell you. But it was a joy. I mean, dude, sleeping in the bunks of tour buses are not glamorous. They are not. You're living with a dozen sweaty people in a hallway, and you got a front lounge with a couple of couches, and you got a back lounge with a U-shaped couch and a TV, and then in between them you've got a dozen bunks, and you're within 8 feet of all those a dozen people, and yeah, it's living in a hallway with a dozen sweaty people. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Well, you only have to see that movie once, but. It's not. I don't like it. I don't like the style exactly. But that, unfortunately, a fair amount of what's described there is totally real. Totally real. All of it, and it's not fantasy. The amputation, the sex work, the going from being a small-time user to a street hustler to full-blown goddamn who knows what. I've seen it happen. Right here, I've seen it happen. That's only getting worse. My nurse friends out there, there's way worse dope on the street now. You only need to see that movie one time. But it's the thing is all that shit actually happens to people, like the amphetamine psychosis of the fridge jumping and all that shit. That's all real stuff that happens to people. And again, I've seen full-blown amphetamine psychosis where people have to be carted away in an ambulance, and they need 4 people to do it. And I've seen a lot of things. Yeah, right? Yeah, it's disturbing as hell. That side of life is disturbing as hell. And, that level of desire will have you nearly die all the time. to get what you think you want. I nearly die all the time. Every day. Every time you put that needle in your arm, every time you smoke your hoot off of the foil, every time, I mean, snorting you can OD, people do all the time. Yeah, it's fucked. I mean, a bunch of my friends are in the ground. A bunch of them. More than a half dozen of my close friends are in the ground. And way, way, way before their time. It's one of the things that motivates me to try to do anything for people to help and to study any of this stuff, is because I see what lack of attention on these things does. And it has people that get wrapped up in drugs just suffer in silence, suffer without treatment, and be prime in the first place. And it's just not understanding that this isn't about each individual choice. Is that narcotic compounds that are, narcotic compounds like this, it's gotten a lot worse since then. It's gotten a lot worse. A lot worse. The dope on the street was shit in the 90s. It was shit. It was like the worst dope. Purity of heroin fluctuates, and it's usually because of, the source material and the access to it by people doing business, and exactly, the profit potential therein. And, it's a billions of dollar business. And so when the Central Intelligence Agency was helping ship the Golden Triangles, the outposts in Vietnam, the Vietnamese warlords, drug lords, helping to ship their heroin so the CIA could get access to their regions, which they controlled. No government would go back there. Flooded the streets with more and more powerful heroin by the late 70s. Because, street heroin, in the late 60s, was in between 18 and 24% pure. And by the late 70s, that was well over 30. But for the guys that picked it up, we're basically trying to take whatever there are in our time in one of the major cities and knot off 8 hours at a time. And the heroin that they were getting right at the source there in Vietnam was over 90% pure. And the way that they'd be commonly sold in bars is that they'd fill a Bic pen frame, the cylinder of a Bic pen, with this heroin, and you'd just you'd upend it onto the end of your finger, and it'd be this little mound that diameter, and that would be 8 hours. 8 hours of full-on narco. And then those guys, a lot of people kicked situationally. They weren't at war. They didn't need to be checking out. They wanted to go back to their lives, and they got back to their lives. But not a majority, but a significant percentage of those people brought that habit back home, and a lot of them OD'd because they were chasing that high from 90% pure junk with street heroin that's cut with all of this garbage, and American street heroin, and is variably pure. And so I think some of those guys would get really frustrated and just load the shit out of some needle and, just trying to go after it. And there's no way you're going to catch it with American dope, but basically, as a survivor of some of this, I didn't go as far as all that. I never did heroin. I knew that if I ever did that drug, I would never come back. That would be it for me. I wouldn't survive it. I never did it. I have no interest. But so now now, unfortunately, the cartels. So, by the aughts, we started to hear about fentanyl in the heroin supply. But before that, street heroin after the 90s. Well, we went to war with Afghanistan, the world's most productive, country for heroin precursor. And lo and behold, oh Jesus Christ! All of a sudden, within a year, American streets were flooded with super pure, super cheap heroin. And my friends that were like dopers from the 90s, who like some of them had just gotten clean or like were a few years clean, and this new wave hit and it swept them, like a bunch of them up. And then it was just about going after that strength. And so you had super cheap and pretty pure heroin that was the replacement for, OxyContin. Once you got up to an OC80, I couldn't believe people were doing OC80s. It's like, whoa. And recreationally, an OC80, and that was like, people that I socialized with, in the early odds. Oh God, and some of them are not here. But then it was fentanyl. America learned about fentanyl when Philip Seymour Hoffman died of his heroin overdose. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but Shannon had updates. Please, thank you. Please, I want to know the Shannon updates. Thank you. This is excellent. No, we were just going off about, the terribleness of dope and the dope scene. But please, give me the bird's eye lowdown on that caper. Standing by for updates. Oh, awesome. So it seems you're acquainted. Guess what? The alderman of the Chicago ideal or is new, elected 2023, black, gay, well-educated. Shannon will have his aide. Oh, son of a bitch. That is so... Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh yeah, dude, first rule of business, know who to talk to. Oh yeah, I love the Chicago crew. Oh yeah, boss move, boss, yes. Well, I was looking at the fine print of the noise ordinance. Shannon made the right move. I'll just say that. Shannon made the right move to go to the alderman, and we're not going to be fucked with. Our First Amendment rights are going to be protected because they're basically, what I read is that, what governs a, one of these public gatherings is some kind of support from the alderman in writing or whatever, that he gives his blessing. And if we have his aid there, they're not going to be able to fuck with us. We're going to make some serious righteous noise, and they're not going to be able to stop us as easily. And also, the cops are going to give us a wider berth. Oh yeah. Sunday. Oh man, they're already getting screwed by Chicago Scientology. This ain't LA. Oh baby. Scientology, this is not Los Angeles. Oh Lord. Yeah, they were going to try to impede the sidewalk for a major Chicago thoroughfare. It just seemed cuckoo bananas. Oh man, that is super good news. Except during the actual event, they have 2 hours. And we're going to make those 2 hours rather unpleasant for them. A lot of frustration. I think there's going to be some gold or silver vested individuals with decibel meters yelling at the police to make us stop. I'm showing up with bells on. That's what I'm saying. Try to let everybody in Chicago know that in reality, Target 2 is the size of a golf ball. And when LRH arrived there, he bounced off of it and he's still hurtling into the void of space. And so there's no point in going to Target 2. He miscalculated. It's smaller than the Little Princess planet. Oh, wow. Yeah, oh, okay. This is shaping up. I'm down. I mean, if it's better if one person goes in, or if I think it probably is better if we go in as a group. I mean, she means going within the building, into the org, right? Man, I'm lead-footing it. Highway Patrol's gonna pick me up. Okay, I brought noisemakers. I brought 7 pairs of drumsticks. I brought a cymbal to put on a little cymbal that we can bash. I brought recorders. I brought like this weird other percussion instrument. I brought like a literal handheld brass bell. Okay, like we're gonna try to get up over the street level, and if I don't blow up my voice today, I'm gonna have to speak very little tomorrow, because I've been talking for 10 hours today, and my voice is gonna be shredded tomorrow. It's gonna be absolutely shredded. Yeah, she did. That's right. But and she's also really good with she knows all the numbers of the government officials. But this move of going to the alderman's office and getting them on our side and knowing the people on the ground, and that this could easily work, because like last live stream with Shannon, it was I don't know, it was, you know, we'll see what we can do, and this is a huge win. This is going to offer us extra protection. We're going to be able to get closer. We're going to be able to see more. They're not going to be able to keep us at arm's length as much, and we're going to be able to disrupt their event more effectively. Or at least that there's the potential for that. We'll see what it is on the day of, but I mean, this is making me pretty damn happy and more confident about what we may be facing on the day. Because this will be 2 org openings in a row that they're going to have to do whole new sound and everything, and we're going to make them look really bad in front of their whales, their big money donors, which is the only thing that's keeping the ship afloat right now. And the more that they see this, the more I think some of them will be like, well, it's not being as well managed as before. I don't remember org openings being this chaotic. What is Davey doing? Perfect Space Navy. Oh, wow. I mean, thank you for the update. This is really good news. Pardon me, boys. Are you saying the Alderman's gonna be on our side? Yes, yes. Davey is mad. We all think that it's rad. Oh, I forgot to do something today. Yes. Gonna have to hit up a hardware store tomorrow. Sign building material. So, one thing that I forgot is, thin wood slats to make up, like, the backing for good carried poster board, and, like, wood slats that are high enough that you can, lift them up over, like, head height. So even if there's standing crowd, people can see what's going on. And so I think sometime tomorrow when I get up, the first thing I'm going to do is hit a Home Depot and, get a bunch of really cheap pine slats and wood glue and make up a bunch of backs and have them ready for whatever signs people want to make when they're on site. Let's see. Yeah, right, yeah. Well, we're definitely, exactly. He's trying to convert the publicity from that Super Bowl ad, from that, I think, $7 million ad buy, but maybe way more, that they were going to convert that into successful org openings. And so it was all meant to, be ducks in a row. And, nope. Sorry. No, I have a bunch of poster board, not the super thick kind, but either way, even if it's like the 4-ply stuff, like thin wooden, like pine slats and wood glue as, like, you make like a picture frame back, and then you glue like an upright stick to that, and that's your handle, and you let that set for like 20 minutes, and you've got like the most pro-rigid sign. And so I was going to make a few of those, but I just, I'm making a mad dash for the middle of the country here, and it's the next day already. It's 12, and so I definitely I didn't have any time to stop and do a hardware shop. Cool. I mean, the more poster board, the merrier, I think, really, but I'm not sure how many people are going to be out there, but I've got like, I don't know, like 40, 50 sheets of it. Yeah. And, it's going to be a less serious all hands on deck day, and it will be a good day on site to get, see everybody, get to know y'all, and make some signs, and get ready for the big day. Going by Sturgis now. Jesus. Phone almost died. So, tomorrow, others, you think we'll be able to carry them on sticks? Maybe don't even. Yeah. I mean, it's just. Yeah, I might not worry about it if I've got time. It's just. It's a good way to make poster board really rigid and then be able to get it up high over head height of a crowd of people. That's No, Indiana. No. No, not that, not the famous one. South Dakota. No. Yeah. No, I'm still in Mike Pence land. From Penn's Woods. Just gonna pop. Ooh, I'm in the sticks. Yeah, you. Yeah, I can almost smell it. I can almost hear him saying mother to his wife. Wow, I'm getting a little loopy. I didn't even filter that. I didn't even know that I said it. Yeah, wow. Wow, I am motoring down the road. I'm going for speed and not freaking gas mileage. Yeah. Totally barfadelic. Yeah. That looks like the light pollution from Gary and Chicago I'm just starting to see. I can just see the beginning of it. Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. That place. Holy Moses. There was one time in my touring life that I was left behind by the bus, and I was left behind in the morning in a truck stop in Gary, Indiana. By a tour bus driver who didn't have any business driving us, because he didn't know how to drive a trailer. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I know. Super cool. Hometown. And at the time that I was left behind in Gary, it was the homicide. It had the highest homicide rate. And this tour bus driver that we had, I think I first recognized the fact that the man had no short-term memory. Our first gig was Boston, and it was the first night. Getting to know each other, weren't going to be too judgy. It seemed a little flaky. Second gig was B.B. King's House of Blues in Times Square, the original one before they franchised it. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. Well, yeah, it was the murder capital for a second in the early aughts, and this was in 2004. Like Dory? I don't know what that means. But Yeah, so BB King's House of Blues in Times Square was our regular gig in Manhattan, and that's the first night I noticed that there was something up with our bus driver, because it's the best meal on tour. Their kitchen was awesome. I don't know what it is. You can get a lobster, you can get a steak. It's like, pretty good New York restaurant food. Everybody looked forward to it. And our bus driver, all the way, he didn't have short-term memory loss. He just didn't have any, seemingly. He ordered this big steak dinner and then just walked off 5 minutes later to his hotel, and his steak arrives like another 5 minutes later, and there's no bus driver. It's like the bus drivers will usually sleep during the gig once you're in. It was amazing that he took a meal, but he did. He ordered one. And they disappeared. I was like, that's kind of weird. I don't like that. Who does that? Is the best meal on tour. So then the next gig was Philadelphia, and it took him 3 hours to park the trailer. 3 hours. I love NYC. I want to live there next. Cool. Yeah. It's a weird town. There's a lot going on. A lot of artists. I have a lot of friends in NYC. There's a lot of stuff to do. A friend of mine's a hot shit recording engineer in there. Which maybe I'll stop in on Ari Raskin on my way back. That would. Sorry. Sorry, Ari. Selfless. Hey, Ellie. Getting me on the road, and you got me live. You got me half the subs to get me out here. Thank you. And yeah, it's good to see you too. Right. So third gig, it took him an hour and a half. Oh, before we even got to the gig, he got lost. He got lost in the worst part of Philly. He got lost. And it's just like, it's dudes posting up on the street like, 8 strong, like totally looking like The Wire, every little last place. And he's driving us through this. And so we're totally lost, and the bus driver's totally flummoxed. And he suggests we stop to ask for directions. And the tour manager's also the bass player, who's also female, who's also hard as nails, one of my best friends from North Dakota. This tour manager, bass player, just like she's a world killer. Stepped outside and talking to this guy who's definitely strapped, and he's got the one leg rolled up and the whole thing. She steps off the bus and his eyes go wide, and I came out behind her because I'm like, I mean, you're brave, Brandy, but geez. And he says to her, it's like, you're in the wrong neighborhood, right? The worst part of Philly. Yeah, no, dude, that's where we were. That's exactly where we were. That's exactly where we were in 2004. And, like, dude, totally open air freaking hard drug market. Open air hard drug market. And, and then it took him 3 hours to park the trailer. And, oh my God. And so after that, we're like, oh, Jesus, okay. Now we need to talk amongst ourselves without him present about the liability that our bus driver is now. And the next gig was a festival, Masontown, West Virginia, all good music festival. Oh yeah, but Brandy and I, we're toughs. we've been around things about that scary on the semi-regular, that, like, you know, there's still human beings there. And the other thing is they're doing business, right? They don't want to fuck with anybody like us. They don't want to do anything, right? And it's too much heat, it's too much bother. Like, usually people, like gangs that are running a business, they'll kill each other way before they do anything to a civilian, right? Because the cops are going to show up for the civilian. And that crew's going to get rolled. Maybe the feds are going to come in, depending on how serious it is or how connected, you know, the civilian that they kill or maim or whatever it is. And so they don't do a whole lot of that. And this guy was trying to be kind. He's like, no, seriously, you know, this shit could happen here. And we're like, yeah, I know, but we're lost. And this guy's brain dead. So, you know, he was able to go to the middle of the field in the easy bus park up, and he got kind of a day off and everything. And this is where I get left in Gary, Indiana. So we're going from Masontown to Chicago. Chicago's the next gig. And it's the morning, and he's parked up in a truck stop in Gary, Indiana. And I woke up late. Everybody else was off of the bus getting breakfast, and I knew that I didn't have enough time to get a full breakfast. And I go to this guy, and I look him dead in the eye, and I make him look me in the eye, and I go, hey man, I'm getting off the bus. I'm going over there to the truck stop to get some orange juice. And he goes, hey man, what do you think about this parking spot? I mean, it's really good. I pulled it around, and I moved from over there, and I moved the bus, and this is a better parking spot, right? And I'm like, hey, bus driver, I'm going over there to get orange juice. Do not leave me behind. Don't leave me behind, because our tour manager wasn't there. She wasn't there to do a head count. She wasn't there to think that I was off the bus. She might assume that I'm asleep in my bunk, which is exactly what she did. Less than 5 minutes later, I come out of this place with my orange juice. Bus is gone. And I didn't have my cell phone. My cell phone was in my bunk. I just went out with my wallet. And so I'm stranded. And the ship has moved on. And so there was a security guard in this truck stop. And now Gary, Indiana is the highest homicide rate in the country at the time, and this truck stop security guard had a 9. He had a 9mm automatic pistol, a semi-automatic pistol on his hip. I felt safe with him, and I said, hey man, you know, I was just on this tour, they left me behind, I need to call a cab, can I use your office? And he allowed me to use his, yeah, I'm going to Chicago, going to this club. How fast can you get me there? And, you know, he said he could get me there in 40 minutes. It took an hour. He didn't know where he was going. He played it off legit. And I got there, got out of the cab, went onto the bus. Driver, you never leave me behind again. You don't leave me behind. You remember next time. And I didn't know that the tour manager had just fired him. He was packing up his stuff, and he was gone that hour. And we got another driver, and he was the best driver that we had. He was wonderful. Cracking a joke, knew our music. No. Ellie, I'm going to carry a sign. Why is F Sciento out of the question? That seems like a perfectly reasonable sign. One target 2 is the size of a golf ball. I think it's funny. I imagine LRH just popping into existence over a golf ball sized planet and just like knocking into it and falling into, it wouldn't be a planet, would it? I'm just trying to make it diminutive as much as possible. F Sciento. So my extension that I've been using in a bunch of chats is F Sciento till the last org falls forever. Because that's the idea. Well, I'm trying to recognize my own complacency and how well, I turned away from this evil, unfortunately, some time ago, and here I am getting at it. Nice. Nice. Okay, I'm almost out of Indiana. I'm coming up on a lot of light pollution. You guys are great. Are you asking what this music is? So I did I did a series of, I did a few DJ shows of mashing up just strictly drum and bass in 80s, okay? And I called it Drum and Baties. And I made like 50 of these mashups and did some shows with friends, and like we filled a small club and danced around all night and have fun. But yeah, this is Human by the Human League, and a jungle track. The Human League. It's Human by Human League. There's a lot of double names in the 80s, I guess, like the and the was not, and, jeez. Duran Duran. So this one is a drum and bass song, and I Can't Go For That by Hall & Oates. The drum and bass track is called Transistor, so I called it I Can't Go For That Transistor. This one's one of the favorite ones that I ever did. I did 50 of them, and this one's one of my favorites. Top 10. But it makes me drive fast, this stuff. I want to drive super fast. I'm just amazed how all of this is coming together, and how it's a lot of people are being inspired by this organic movement and being brought in. Serendipity-doo-dah. good question. Well, for me, I've been following Scientology kind of casually since the Dianetics PR run in the 80s. And my brother brought home the Dianetics book when he was 12, and we would laugh at it. But this movement, like, I became aware of Aaron Smith Levin last year for the first time. I knew about Mike Rinder, I knew about Marty Rathbun, I'd seen Louis Theroux's documentary, I'd seen the one before that the BBC had done, I'd seen all the other ones. I saw the WikiLeaks dump of all the Scientology stuff. I poured through that as soon as it happened. And a lot of that information was out on the Chans by 2004. Basically, when the Tommy Cruise video of the big IAC 2004, have you ever met an SP? I mean, maybe one day we'll live in a world where, nobody will even know what an SP is. That whole video, the turtleneck video, when that dropped in 2004, I think, that's the last time I got really serious about it. And then I forgot about it for 10 years. Me for a few months. But, yes. What do you mean you have streets? I knew streets for a few years. True that. That's a mod prerogative. It's mod prerogative. You do just what I like. It's my prerogative. Sweet, I see your handle. I'll sub when I stop for the night. I will sub to you. That one's not that good. That one's okay. tomorrow we'll try to get you up on Prism through, because if you don't have enough subscribers, that's one way to get it to happen. That I found, because I have over 150 subscribers and YouTube is still like, nope, I haven't verified you yet. YouTube is gonna, and I looked into the fine print and sometimes it takes up to 2 weeks. So that's why I got Prism as a third-party streaming application on my phone to be able to push my stream through YouTube. That's how I'm doing it right now. I'm guessing there's a watermark on my stream right now. Do I have a watermark? Yes. This time. Okay, cool. All right, fine. That's nice. I guess they were saying that it would appear, but it's good news. So, South Bend, Four Winds Casino. I'm getting close. Back to Mad World. We're having a little convo now. Pop groomer. Yeah. Floats in and out. Cool. Thanks. Exactly. Yeah. I thought I had a watermark. It's nice that they don't need to maintain it the whole time. They're like, yeah, it's cool. We'll throw it up sometimes. Sweet. Yeah, it's me and a Toyota Corolla out here against, oh yeah, you're sick of me. Okay, see ya. Me and a Toyota Corolla, you can follow me now. Plymouth. Wait, I just left Plymouth. I'm back to where I started. Hello. I can't be seen very well. How about this? Hello there. Thank you for joining this Chicago cruise stream, seemingly. You're getting a little cadre together here. It's nice. Super late night now. It's getting to be the wee hours. I think, I don't know if 1 o'clock is wee. Maybe, that's technically. Yeah, that's pretty freaking fun. You bet. Have to agree. Have to agree. Dude, lurk away. Gone now. That's what it's for, I guess. I don't even know if lurk is the right term. Come on and watch. Oh, you are a drifty in the passing lane going slow person. Say your turn. Get a Google number for the create a new email. Just for your, yeah, absolutely. Well, the point there is, I think if I'm not wrong, if what you're indicating, Ellie, is that if you use the same email used for your login, that's half of your credential right there, and then all they need is your password. So, then they can do. Well, I mean, this is an organization that is just famous for attacking, for doxing, for infiltrating, for spying, for all that stuff. Oh, cool. Thanks, Ellie. Yeah, absolutely not. There's no reason why the cops should have it. About a half hour from the border. Burned a half a tire. Oh, that's no good. That's very bad gas mileage, Oliver. Very, very bad. Yeah. What? Yeah, totally. They've got it wired all up. And high definition cameras that can probably scope very far down the street. And they'll go frame by frame. and they'll get the right frame. The same thing the cops have been doing to everybody in every major city since 9/11, but yeah. Yeah, they ain't kidding. Yep. Yeah, it's polarized glass, screen protector, basically. Ooh, low back starting to get really tweaky. This is, I've been out here 15 hours now. So it's about time to be done. It's about time. I'm starting to get a little silly. Time to get past the week done. I have, yeah, cool. Oh yeah, we'll get you more subs. Oh yeah. But, I think we may be able to work a way to get you live through Prism tomorrow. Welcome. Thank you all for joining me here on this late night sojourn here. It's very nice. I feel like I have some Overwatch here. Yeah, that's right. yeah, here we go. Thanks, guys. Oh, it's like I have a mod. Wow, it's really sweet. I mean, hopefully I don't offend everybody. Yes, that's right. Yeah, you know, I figure it was going to be about 16 hours on the road, and I was going to be able to get there in the middle of the night, sleep in some flea bag, and wake up at noon, probably, maybe more like 10, depends on where I land and when I land, but somewhere in that range, and, show up in the afters and do the scope out, and then do the event on Sunday. Yeah. All the way from Massachusetts. And so we have people coming both directions. Well, the drive from California is longer by a damn sight. It's like another day. It's about time. Swoop them all up, take them to the cool part of the galaxy, get them out of this backwater. Heard that in years. These 80s mashups that I did. Oh man. Trip down memory lane. Oh, we've got some more. Yeah. I mean, seriously, I've basically volunteered to shadow him just to pick up what I can to try to, I don't know, try to spend like a week in LA and hang out with the dude. Hang out with the good dude. Because Boston severely needs more of it. Needs more of it. Boston cops need cameras in their faces. They need cameras in their faces in the places where they're tearing mainly freaking minority kids apart and throw them in Mass Bay Correctional Center for nothing, basically. So, going on in Boston, there's a couple of rinky-dink missions. Like the nearest serious thing that's going on is the org in Harlem, which I also want to do. Might as well hang out there. I know Harlem, so imagine Baltimore. What do you mean, Baltimore cops? I mean, they're real corrupt, sure, like a lot of the East Coast big city cops. But I don't know if they're any more or less corrupt. Yeah, no, I know Baltimore. I know that scene. I had a bunch of friends escape New England from there to try to lay low and spend some time down there. It's a good place to do it because, again, yeah, the cops are so corrupt. They're not really doing their job, so it's not a terrible place to hide out because, well, especially at the time, it was so chaotic. You could get lost in the soup down there. I know people that did that. I mean, they're all pretty bad. They all have the same power. Do any of you have experience with southern police forces? Because they're quite a little bit different than northern latitudes in my experience. What I found is that, a lot of cops in the north and the northeast, you don't see them out and about. You don't see them like in a restaurant uniform. You don't see them kind of pushing into the other parts of society in uniform. And like when I was in Georgia, when I was in Atlanta, they're just like, they're all over the place, up in your regular life. And talk about the impunity of Georgia cops. Those dudes scare me. I found wherever it is that the judges are bad, wherever it is that the politicians don't care and they'll look the other way, that's when the police get really, really, really bad. And that changes. Oh yeah, no shit. Oh man. So, Pup Groomer, what do you think about Reno 911? Do you know this show? I'm a big fan of the State, and that comedy troupe. When they all did that cop show, I was just over the moon. Officer friendly, yeah. Look out, Officer Stadinko, officer friendly. Did anybody here do the DARE program? Anybody do that? That's another opportunity for those cops to like show up in a Corvette and look cool. And, hey, we're gonna save the world from drugs. All cops are not that. So I explained, I think, back in when I was hanging out with a bunch of club people, I made like 50 mashups of 80s songs to drum and bass, and I called it Drum and Baties. And where's that? Steph is yeah, I did a couple shows. I did 50 of these mashups or something. think individual cops, fine. Individual cops need to prove it on a case-by-case basis. But I think it's pretty clear that the system in general, the structure of policing in the United States is easily condemned. Easily. It's one of the worst in the world. It's one of the worst in the world. By a long shot. Now, the individual human beings that are working within that system, yeah, give them a chance, but never trust the system. The system that has produced, and I've said it like maybe 15 times in this live stream, the largest prison population in the world, in the richest country in the world. It's not by accident either. So, I think, people that have grown up trusting the police just haven't known what it is to be on the wrong side of it for most of their life. And that the people that I knew that grew up in Roxbury, Dorchester, and Mattapan in Boston could never afford that. They could never afford that kind of trust because these people were targeting their uncles and their fathers and their brothers and their cousins and tearing apart these communities systematically, legally. And with the backing of the politicians, and in Boston with the backing of most of the white people there, and in America it's the same thing. The backing of most people that don't know what it's like to be on the bad end of American policing. And it's the American okie doke. It's the okie doke, as George Carlin would call it. It's just trying to buying into what they're saying, buying into the myth of what this country is, and that it's not authoritarian, it's not imperial, trying to believe that it's not any of these things when the numbers bear it out, when the statistics bear all of this out. If put any scrutiny on American policing, and it's just it'll show you. Now like any of these systems, there are brave men and women and people that identify other than either of those things, probably not too many in cop culture, I would expect, that are out there doing the best they can to save people's lives and make people's lives better, and they are out there and they should be commended. And so I will take an officer on an individual basis, and I've met many of them that are true protectors that will put themselves in harm's way for stuff like this, that will put themselves on the line, put themselves in danger. I mean, they're all in danger. But some of these people that get in there are like, they're the high school bully that didn't make it anywhere and didn't have any grades and can't get another job other than pushing people around because he's got a gun and a badge. And there's so many of the bully personality, like, the junior high school or high school bully that are cops. And the problem there is that the system protects those people. They protect them and cover up crimes for them, like shuffle them around from department to department. And if you know how like the bad cop that gets a bad rap, has a lawsuit hit him in like one jurisdiction. In some states, up until very recently, it's been allowed to like move around. Nobody knew. And I think a bunch of auditors and a bunch of researchers, uncovered this fact, I think about a decade ago, and that practice started to be whittled away. But, so for me, it's, individual human beings, take them as it is, but do not trust the system of police. Do not trust them. They can legally lie to you. They can legally do a bunch of things that you don't think that they can. That most people don't know that they can do legally in interrogations and other places. Our numbers just suck. And there's no two ways about it, really. Ooh, I lost some people. accept that fact. It's like get your eyes checked, so you can't see very well. Credit, cash. No truck. Got my ticket.
Insert card or pay cash.
What is it? $10 for Indiana? It's hardly worth it. I'm glad to be out of here, though. I had one of the worst run-ins with highway patrol in Indiana. It's the worst attitude I've almost ever seen in highway patrol. And 60 cents. Oh, you don't like dimes? You don't like change at all? Oh, you suck. You're not, so I'm gonna have to give you a signal. And I'm holding up the line. Sorry.
Collect change.
You collect change. Pound sand, R2D2. I see you. I can't do anything right. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think I've got a harder idea about this than a lot of people. Do you think I'm too harsh on the cops, guys? Y'all? Just wondering. Nah, thanks. I don't know. So I told a story about a gun that got pointed in my direction by a cop. I didn't tell any of my anti-war protest stories. One of the Iraq war protests on the Common, on Boston Common, we're all up on, there's like a hill up the Boston Common. Off the top of the hill is a monument, a Civil War monument of the regiment, the African American regiment that was, led. It's the movie Glory. Matthew Broderick and Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington was that monument, and a whole bunch that was always a collection spot for these protests, is up there at that monument. And when they cleared the park, it was a line of like all of the mounted, it was like 30 of them, 30 of the Boston Mounted Police just rode right at us with their horses. No warning, no nothing. They came up, they kind of snuck up, and then they went like real fast. And people were jumping, screaming. I saw somebody get their leg broken. I literally had to like throw my body out of the way to not get trampled. And that's what they're going to do. Peaceful anti-war protest, just to clear the park at the end of what we were permitted at, I guess. The permit ended, and they just went full Nazi. It's fucked up. I mean, and that's nothing. That's nothing next to what they do. It's nothing. And especially like Boston is famous. You know, they killed people. They killed people in 2004. They shot a girl through the eye with a rubber bullet in Kenmore Square. And oh man, I can't ever forget that stuff. I can't ever forget it. And that it's only gotten worse, geometrically worse since then. I'll commend the ones that are good all day long, because it's got to be the hardest thing to be a clean, non-violent, actually helpful police officer in these corrupt police forces. Because it is actually, if you're not on the take in some of these super places, like training day is not a joke. Training day is real. That happens. They're describing something that happens with vice cops, and not just vice cops. But if you're clean in a situation like that, you're a liability. And I mean, people die. People die just because they've seen stuff, because you're a cop and you know too much. So, like, I don't know. I'll never forget Commissioner William Gross telling that woman that his officers had to shoot her boy in the chest because that's how we trained to shoot him center mass, even though he wasn't armed. I will never forget that Titanic asshole saying that to that poor woman who just came to this public meeting to try to get an answer from the second top cop in Boston about why her kid was dead. Never forget it. These are callous people that run these organizations. Callous, heartless. Some of them are completely corrupt criminals. Some of them are killers. They're not to be trusted in any way. There's nothing the politicians can do, you know. You go up against the police union in a town like Boston, and they'll roast you. You will not have a political seat anywhere. State Senate, you know, State House, mayor, governor. You're not going to be on the city. Well, no. There's a couple city councilors. I knew a couple city councilors that went right after them. And that was Sonia Chang Diaz, who I love. I love Sonia Chang Diaz. She's a real politician. People think they're all corrupt. They're not. You got to look at the locals. They're true blue people. She changed things for me. She got shit done for me in my neighborhood. She kicked a license out of the massage licensing board for my ex-wife because the head of the board ran a massage school, and he was running the scam where, you know, out-of-state people had way overqualified, so many clinical hours, whatever the heck. He was saying, nah, you've got to come to my massage school and do another 600 hours of clinical work before I'm going to give you a license in Massachusetts. I called Sonia Chang Diaz and told her that happened. 24 hours, they kicked out a license when they had been dragging their feet for 9 months. She's a hero. Tito Jackson, and you know, is the namesake of, I think, the bass player of the Jackson 5. Tito is another city councilor that fought for local businesses, made sure that the construction projects had their local hire and minority quotas, because they were always trying to fudge those numbers and do whatever they can to give like every single one of those jobs to an O'Houlihan or an O'Brien, Whitey Whiterson, because Boston's just like that. It's super duper racist. And also, that's where I met Ayanna Pressley. Ayanna Pressley, Boston City Council. I had a bunch of evenings, had long conversations with Ayanna before she ran for the House. And she's the real deal. They're the real out there, and they'll change things for you. They will fight. Ayanna's one of the real ones. I helped her. I volunteered for her campaign. I volunteered for a bunch of campaigns that election. I went to a bunch of the precincts and just made sure things were cool. I was their precinct scout for election day. So I go around, make sure that the presence was good, that there wasn't any tomfoolery going on, and if they needed an extra presence at one of the things, they sent me around. But I phone banked for them for like half a week and then did that. Liz Malia is another true dyed-in-the-wool fighter, politician in Boston for people. Liz Malia. We're going, Gary. Sucks. It's like a patchwork quilt of asphalt. All right. Nearly out of the state. I hate it. I want out. Gary, Indiana is not my home sweet home. And I mean, wasn't the Music Man even lying about that too? Was he actually from Gary? Does that get worked out? I forget. If you guys know the Music Man, I keep using that. If you people. Cute little Ron Howard. Well, the Will Fart wagon with the coming down to 3. I hope the thumb there for me. Well, the Will Fart wagon. Hurrah. Oh, it's all the heavy business outside of Gary is the heavy business electric transmission and fuel storage and silent. That looks really sketch. Yeah, this is Mordor. We're getting into Mordor. Are we going to get an oil refinery? Yeah, here we go. Oil refinery. Time to button up the air. Too late. Too fucking late. Okay, it's almost 2 in the morning, and I'm starting to get back to swearing like a sailor. Excuse my gruffness, I guess you might say. Gruff. I've caught up to these Floridians. Yeah, that's petroleum, some kind of fossil fuel refining plant. Who knows what they're making? It all looks the same. A bunch of ducks, a bunch of tanks, a bunch of, blow down stacks. One of the more frightening sights at night when I was driving that I ever saw. I was driving back from Montana to Fort Collins, Colorado, and going through Wyoming in the wee hours like this. And I mean, there's hardly a more desolate state where you don't see very much of human civilization than Wyoming. And there's nothing for like an hour and a half, and then like on the horizon I can see this column of smoke going from the ground to the cloud deck, and it looks so dirty. And yeah, coal fire plant, and at night it's all lit up, and the smoke is all lit up by these orange lights, and it looks like hell. And then I get up on this town, and there are residences that are right next to this coal fire plant, separated by a 2-lane road. I can't believe we think that's a good idea for human beings, that anybody that could ever happen, that we're not just saying, oh, we're choosing to put you in a place where you're most definitely going to be poisoned. There's no two ways about it. You're going to be poisoned. Your life is going to be shorter, and you might die horribly because of this. This is scary as hell. So, here we go, the Skyway, and now it's the late night hunt. It's the late night hunt for the cheapest digs around. I might actually have to stop to scope that out and just do a little searchy search, try to find out what's on offer. But I should be, at this point, within an hour of touching ground somewhere. Journey time. I just hit 3 hours. It doesn't beat. Yes. The Muffin Man, the Gingerbread Man, Pinocchio, the Smurfs, they're having a mutual miniature appreciation society. Easy pass only, no cash or credit, pay 1/2 mile. Come here, wallet. Be my friend. What is this? Is this the beginning of Chicago, or are they hitting you up for another little bit in Indiana? Yeah, it's Indiana. They're hitting you up for another little bit. The cheapskates. Like, your little state costs as much as Ohio, and it's not quite as wide. It's really dumb. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. It gets to that point. I am going to have less and less of a filter. Please wait for what?
Insert code or pay cash.
For $4 for that little bit of road? You assholes. How is Indiana more expensive than Ohio? Like, your roads are, well, I guess you need the money because your roads are garbage, but you're not doing anything with them.
Collect change.
You collect change.
I don't like you anymore.
Pound sand R2D2. Okay. Yes, you are the big bully of the block. You definitely go first. Are you... Oh, that thing. Yeah. Yep. That's your casino on the border. Yeah, it's a lot. And I haven't even paid all of them because the New York ones, it's going to be like $24, $28. And they're all electronic. They've just put up these readers, and so I have to go on the website and plug down. So, to Chicago. Yeah, so let's see. That was 15. Ohio was 15. Pennsylvania just lets you go through their little corner, whatever, it's the corner. So it's like 55. I estimate 55 to $60 in tolls. And they don't do anything with these roads. They don't maintain them. Actually, Ohio's the best. They charge you the least for the amount of distance that you go, and they have the best roads. So, go figure. New York charges you the most and has the worst roads. That's the Empire State for you. That all the live like that. It's just how they do. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna have to pay that too. Right, okay, cool. I just didn't, it's just so short, right? So, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the Pennsylvania side, and I'm gonna have to do the New York side. That's right, thank you. So yeah, it's gonna be like $70, $65, $70 in tolls. Here comes Chicago hitting me up already. Thank you, Ellie. Good evening. All right, what do we got? Wow. Indiana just double hit me. Wow. It sure is. I just haven't done this drive in a bit. It's just what it is. We'll do you too. Here we go, loop-de-loop. Oh, that guy was nice. Here's Joel. On the Skyway. Yeah, that was the Skyway, Chicago Skyway toll. $7.50. So that's $80, about 75, $80 now. That went up real fast, right? Illinois, yeah, I remember Illinois roads being particularly bad, and these look like they haven't been redone in 20 years. That's right. I don't know where they would do it. They even give you the dinner. I mean, I would take a baked potato, I guess, out of a toll booth, and I wouldn't eat it. Ooh, that tightened up real quick. Southside. know if I take the time to go a little bit further west, I'm going to get a cheaper room. And I might be doing that. Anything around here is going to be ridiculous. Trailer trying to cause an accident. Shit. This looks really urban now. I get on the other side of all? I get on the other side of all these guys. Sick of it. I think I'm gonna get over on the express. I don't need all those exits. I don't need it. I want it. I'll deal with that tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Urban decay, just like this country isn't even trying. Let's see, how long have I been driving? Since 10 o'clock this morning. So, holy crap. They just lit up. Put down, okay. Nice, yes, flares down. Is that abandoned car? Abandoned car. Yeah. Yeah, holy cow is right. You know, I'm reaching close to the extremis of, you know, my abilities to drive in a day, and it's like, I'm gonna be down in an hour, and it's you gotta have all your wits about you at the very, very end. It's interesting statistically that, you know, on long drives, you know, people tend to have accidents very near the end. They relax their guard, you know, they feel the safety of home, and that's what happens. So I'm nowhere close to the danger zone. For me, you know, my eyesight's good, my attention's good. I'm just tired, like, you know, low back's tired, voice is shot from talking for 10 hours. Thanks for y'all taking over the conversation between y'all for a little while, because I literally talked for 10 hours today. Get on the other side of the city and then come back in the daytime. So that's the thing, is that there ain't nothing on the Indiana side that's worth a damn. I mean, there's casino land, but like, you're trying to get accommodations next to that, and you're going to pay the toppest dollar. And then anything in the city, I mean, you know, they got you at the side of the highway, so you know, you go 20 miles outside of the city limits on west here, and the prices start to drop by like $20 every, you know, 30 miles. Well, checkout is at 11 a.m. now. Place to sleep. No, I get it. Motherfucker almost sideswiped me. You son of a bitch. Motherfucker. No, I dig it. And, you know, when you check in at this time of night, you know, you ask for a late checkout, and they usually give it to you. And the other thing is, since you're occupying the thing for 8 hours, sometimes they give you a discount. You know, I did this all the time on the road. If you're driving yourself, if you're not on a bus, and you're just going from gig to gig, you get out of a club, you know, you play your gig, and if you're a headliner, you know, you're not going to get out of there until in between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And then you want to drive a little bit away from where you are, and to get the more affordable accommodations, drive a couple hours after the gig, so that ends up being 3 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and you make some kind of a deal. You're like, look, you know, I'm showing up here, whatever check-in time is, you know, give me a reasonable rate. So, or give me a late checkout time, or, you know, whatever it is. So, going to save me $100. So, and like these state tolls just took $100 out of me. So I'm gonna try to get it back. I'm try to get it back with like $5 more of gas. Where I'll be exiting to. This is about where I'd be going to go north to Clark, up that way. So it's all the overpasses. I'm all lit up now. Look, wow. Chicago's a weird monster of a looking town. It's pretty huge. And, ain't Mexico City huge, but it's pretty big. I think that's the biggest city that I've been to. Express lane is closed. Okay. Makes sense. City center, we passed that, and that's the express lane closed. They put all the barriers up. That's an interesting way of doing it. Permanent K-rails down. In Boston, when they put down the express lane, they have one of these trucks, I don't know if you've seen them, that like pick up K-rails on one side of the truck and put them down and make on the other side and make a new lane. Pretty crazy. Huge machine. That's about a quarter. I mean, I usually only get 5 hours of sleep a night anyway, so that's me. So if I get in there at 3, or even if I get into a room at 4, I'm gonna get my regular sleep time. Although I am really tired, so I'll probably sleep 6 hours, depending on the room. Some of these rooms are just so banked out I can't really be comfortable in them, but whirly ball. It's whirly ball. Maybe that's good. Place that said that they offered whirly ball, or the name of the place was whirly ball. It's a new one on me. Learn something new every day. Well, it's looking like I'm coming up on Joliet. They usually would do like a red roof. There's a red roof in Joliet that I would always do. Then I might do it again. then I had some dental work right before I left, and this temporary that they put on a root canal that they're about to put a crown on has just cut the heck out of my tongue, I think. It's no fun. Usually what I do when that happens, if I get like a little cut or something, is just rinse a bunch of times with salt water. It promotes healing. It usually heals faster. I'm just gonna have to find some salt packets or something. I don't know. Chicago bonus round. Search. So, land somewhere before Watford. Let's see. Is that for long? 30 miles. Slow down. It's a really good speed trap area. It's 3 lanes, nobody would slow down. That guy's doing something. It was State Patrol. Got somebody. Oh, you're being pushed even further and jumping in another lane? Just come on. Okay. What you got going? That's it. Last leg, just trying to find digs on the skirts of town, so I don't have to pay the absolute highest freaking fee for accommodations here. And I expect to be down and somewhere around an hour. Rain, though it is too so, and this is not going to O'Hare, 'cause that ain't cool. So, let's see, if I'm down by around 3-ish, another 30 minutes, and it's going to take me like another 20 minutes to get together, so like 3:30. Good thing I have a sleep mask. Wow, this little corporate land. It's a bunch of corporate, some silly brands. True value or corporate equities. It's the truest of values. Welcome to the Illinois Tollway. Right time to see a bunch of tour buses around here, certainly. 2:30. Oh, there's another one. It might be a double bus tour here. They might be the same crew. That's a serious tour when you need 2 buses. Some of them have 4. I think Beck, when I was backstage there, they had 3 and a tractor trailer for gear. That's right, Incubus reformed and they're out there. Wow. It's like an over 15-year hiatus or something for them. Yeah, this is starting to look right. Sweet. business, but us. Come on. We're waving you in, weary traveler. Look at this. Look at that. You want that. Let's do it. I was not in Illinois the last time. Last time I was in Illinois, they did not have dispensaries. That was kind of a touchy thing. Now they have dispensaries, so recreational marijuana in Illinois, I guess. All right. Hour, so it's probably going to be about that time. Do you know when people are showing up, or are we're just going to do this organically tomorrow? Yes, it is. It's truly a great community. Yeah, word. Just pull out in front of me and slow down like that. Oh, you didn't just fucking do that. Get out of here, Connecticut. What? Wow, yeah, some kid in an illegal tinted car. Holy smoke. I've did something. Let's see. What's y'all saying? Ben? Yeah, thank you so very much. Thanks for pushing, Lorraine. Stephanie. Yeah, no, y'all are the best. Yeah, I just checked into my hotel and media went to. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not gonna need that. I don't think. Whoop whoop. Building. Oh, yeah, y'all are so sweet. So, thank you so very much for keeping me safe and keeping me sane. I'll see some of you tomorrow. Maybe I'll see most of you tomorrow. Looking forward. Gonna get some sleep. Laters. Thanks. Super thanks. Because I'm a little brain dead right now. I have more appreciation than I'm able to, I think, express right now. So thank you.